What's up, everybody? You know what time it is, man. It's your boy Mark Howard. It's time to talk Cowboys because that's what we do. We talk Cowboys here. Thank you guys for checking in and watching the show. I said earlier, usually I say at the end, but please hit subscribe. It's growing. On this video, if you like it, hit like, please. If you don't like it, hit don't like. Leave a comment. Let me know what you're thinking. I want to know how you feel. How you feel about this draft? I'm feeling good about the draft. Now again, the draft is just a draft. There's no it all matters until you get on the field. Okay? But I like the way things are going. I've said this before. I like the way things are going from what I see in the choices and the way things are getting done. Right, wrong, or indifferent. I see the coaches having better input on selecting the players, picking the groceries, as Bill Parcells said years ago. All right, they're getting to pick their own groceries if you want them to do the cooking. So, recapping the whole draft for the weekend, I was excited. As you know, I fouled up. I was getting Caleb down. That's who I wanted. I'm also excited because it was the first time I was kind of right, and I guessed right. I ain't gonna lie to you. So it felt good on that. But I do definitely feel that Caleb Downs is a difference maker. He, to me, was one of the top three prospects overall as far as a football talent. He's a football player. And at the end of the day, that's what comes down to it, man. And he's been successful. He's been a lead dog everywhere he goes. So Caleb Downs, safety, we'll call him DB because he's going to be used in multiple situations, and he can do it, covering the slots, maybe even on the edge at times, coming up in the box as a safety or a smaller extra linebacker situation, sitting back, being a free over the top and protecting the top of the defense. I like them. And he just, as everyone says, what I really like, he's just a natural born leader. So he'll bring a positive culture. But the second first round pick, number 23, the Cowboys traded down. They traded down after they got Downs. Oops, that was corny, but I'm going for it. They got edge rusher Malachi Lawrence out of UCF in Central Florida. He's good, active guy. I didn't have a lot of film, but as I looked and followed and watched him, he's talented. I like the size of him, honestly, with his speed and athleticism over, say, Arvell Reese. Not saying he's better than Arvell Reese, but I think at the end of the day, it's all proof in the pudding when you go play. Malachi Lawrence, I think, is going to be really good. I think he has a good chance. And again, the coaches got to pick these draft picks, so they're getting players that fit what they're doing, fit their scheme. With the third round pick, because they didn't have a second round pick, and they got Jayshon Barham, another edge, who is really a combo. Jayshon's from my home state of Maryland, Baltimore, and it's a little different from D.C., but love for Baltimore. Went to the University of Maryland, left, then went to the University of Michigan. Watch a film on him. He could do either. He could play directly on the edge, as a stand-up edge. He could also be another linebacker on the outside too, be a Sam or Will linebacker. He's really grown into being an edge rusher. So naturally, he's more of a linebacker. If our edge rushers are good and solid, and he plays his natural position with his size and his speed, as a linebacker, he adds another blitzer. He just adds another good tackler, a good active player that can defend against the run and be able to cover the pass. He's not. That's some part what I understand he has to improve upon. Okay, so that's our first three picks. Now we're in the fourth round. All right, how did we get here? It's worth noting what the Cowboys did because they made some smooth moves. First off, to ensure once Caleb Downs was getting to the point where we could get him. We traded up. It cost us we traded that pick from 12 to 11. And also gave up 2 of the 3 fifth-round picks that we had. Cowboys had 8 picks going into this draft Friday. After the weekend, we ended up only with 7. Well, only with 7, but just one less. Made some good moves. I'm good with that. We did end up costing us a 6th round. Anyway, so with that, they traded the 2 top 5th-round picks along with that switch up. That's a good trade. We got Caleb Downs. Now, moving back to when we get to 20th, the Cowboys traded down. So we switched from 20 to 23rd. We gained 2 fourth-round picks. We had 1 fourth-round pick, We ended up adding the two. So we moved the two fifth-round picks essentially up to 4 off of the moves that the Cowboys made. That's very savvy. So with that first fourth-round pick, that was the 12th pick in the fourth round, we go offense finally with an offensive tackle out of Penn State, Drew Shelton. A solid started for a good while. He will be an edge blocker, so that means he's going to be a tackle. He's not going. I don't think he's going to be a guard or center or anything like that. I think he's definitely going to compete and find himself a spot of a home on the left or the right side. I think our weakest part of our line has been our tackles. I'm not even really dissing the tackles. It could be better, could be more solid, because up front between center and the two guards, we're good with. But we do definitely need to make sure that Terrence Steele, Tyler Guyton are really the ones, or either we got to replace that. So we go with Drew Shelton there. Now we go to a cornerback, back to defense, with the next 4 picks. So we had the 12th pick and the 14th pick in the 4th round. So we were moving. Get Drew Moore, another cornerback. This guy's from Florida. Brian Schottenheimer what is a Florida Gator, so he's always happy to get himself another Gator in there. This guy here, Drew Moore, looks pretty solid. Good size corner, the type of corner they want. No two, and I'm gonna say this after the last pick. Then we go down to the 37th pick in the 4th round. We get L.T. Overton, another edge backer from Alabama. Alabama had a solid defense. He was one of the better players in that defense. Right around where he was graded. Got him for a good, a little below than what he was typically graded at, from what I understand. But a smart player. That's the key thing I want to go back to. All these guys you're getting, the one that we were getting on defense, the commonality of this is their football intelligence. I almost said the other sport that I coach. Their football intelligence. Okay? That's the key. Right size, the speed, all those things going to make you get considered in the first place. What's going to separate what the Cowboys have been picking, especially on defense, is players who are intelligent, know how to be coached, know how to read the defense, and know how to play. At the end of the day, we can draw up whatever you want to draw up. Got to be a player on that field. All right? Now, from there, we switched out. I know we made some of the move where we had given up the 7th round pick, but I think we ended up trading down out of that, and we got Anthony Smith in the 7th round, the 2nd pick in the 7th round. So we got Anthony Smith, wide receiver from East Carolina. The wide receiver room is going to be interesting. And that's one thing that I know a lot of people are thinking about. Do we need to, especially when we let go of Jalen Tolbert, do we need to add more in the draft at wide receiver? We'll see. So now let me touch on the receiver part. A lot of talk, a lot of people in the media, they like to build up stuff. And it's the Cowboys, so they're always going to make news about whatever the case may be. George Pickens has said he was going to go ahead and agree with the franchise tag and sign the tender. He didn't really get any bites from other teams that were willing to take him on and trade some picks for him before this draft to bring him in and sign him to a long-term deal. I think people are still questioning his attitude and where he's at, where it counts up here. His game has definitely spoken for itself. He was a very good receiver, one of the better receivers in the league at Pittsburgh without quality quarterback play. He comes to Dallas, he's completely upgraded in quarterback play. Don't get me wrong, add another receiver, but hey, CeeDee Lamb was out for about 4 games, and Pickens rose to the challenge and showed he was a solid number 1. We have a good wide receiver room. So getting Anthony Smith adds to that. Long shot, probably going to be a practice team player. I'm looking to see someone like Trayshawn Holden, who was an undrafted free agent receiver, that doesn't have the great athleticism, but he has the game. He can play. He's a receiver. I think another year, knowing the offense and getting acclimated to things, gives him a chance. I'm looking for him to probably sneak in the lineup. Also, key things on players like Jonathan Mingo. We made a trade for him, believed in him before out of the draft, didn't get him, and then tried to make a play for him out of Carolina a few years ago, if you don't remember. But he has not been able to stay healthy to get on the field and has played very few games. He's seen very limited action. We'll see if this is the time. This is going to be the test, because at the end of this is a contract year. Players usually get ready in contract years. Trust me when I tell you. If they do nothing else after that, they do play well in the contract years. But solidly, CeeDee Lamb, Pickens, I believe he's going to sign. I think everybody thought, we hadn't signed yet. I got you. But Pickens, CeeDee Lamb, Gavante Turpin, Ryan Flournoy, Mingo is probably the guy that they're looking at being that other receiver, that fifth receiver. They only carried 5 receivers on the roster. People thought they would go 5 or 6 last year. They went 5, and I suspect that's what they'll do this year. But that 5 spot is where the fight's going to be. Trayshawn Holden, rookie Anthony Smith, Jonathan Mingo. I think they're going to challenge him. Our tight end room was pretty good. I'm going to go into that because I'm going to go over to our UDFA signings as well. So, of course, right after the draft ends, there are some players that we're looking to get drafted. They're still good prospects, but they were not picked in the 7th rounds. You say that with there's 32 teams in 7 rounds, and you didn't get picked there. But hey, it tells you the competition. There are way more prospects than there is room and spots. So our undrafted free agent signings, we have. You see some local area regional picks here, which I get. The scouts are locally see these schools here. So we got Jordan Hudson, a wide receiver out of SMU, Southern Methodist University, right there in Dallas. Then we got DJ Rogers, a tight end from TCU, Texas Christian, right there in Dallas area. Michael Triggs, not far, going up the road a little bit in Denton. The next 2 guys I selected, Michael Triggs, another tight end from Baylor, and Sidney Fugar, a lineman from Baylor as well. Michael Trigg is the one player I saw a little bit of film on as a tight end. He has very good sizable measure. He has good measurable size. I'm going to go ahead and roll with this take. He's got good measurables. His size, his speed. He can play off the line. They line him and split him out at times. Bear with me, folks. He can line up away from the line, split out, run routes like a receiver, look like a big receiver. Again, when you get to the pros, hey, that's that role you could play now, thanks to Shannon Sharp. Shannon Sharp was that one tight end that revolutionized that tight end that can move and split out like a receiver, but also can block. I think where a player like him, Trigg, and somebody else could fight for this position over Font and Schoonmaker. So I liked what I saw from him. He actually is very talented as a receiver. He's very talented as a receiver. So I'm going to say from what I saw here, I don't know what DJ Rogers can do at TCU. I'm not sure about those guys, but I do like what I saw out of Trigg. And there's a reason. They don't just pick players that we just got to grab somebody. They seen film, probably had a draft grade on him. He didn't get drafted. So, hey, for whatever reason, we have him. Sometimes, as they say, another man's trash. One man's trash is another man's treasure. Moving along, we have Kevin Gilliam, defensive tackle out of Virginia Tech. Camden Brown, another wide receiver out of Georgia Southern. Dominic Richardson, a running back from Tulsa. And Shayaz Pete. Forgive me if I mispronounce the name. I have not heard his name before, but I'm doing it phonetically. Shayaz Pete, a tackle, offensive tackle out of Kentucky. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's 8 undrafted free agents that the Cowboys signed, looking to try to get a spot on the roster, of course, but at least the practice squad, if not with us somewhere else. Cowboys do pretty good with that as well. They've got some players who have been undrafted that have made the team and turned into something. So we'll see. We'll see. I like what the Cowboys are doing. I like the energy. I like the mindset. I like what the Joneses are starting to do as far as incorporating and allowing the coaching staff to be in on their selections, especially with this new coach, Christian Parker, seeing that he's writing names down and sending them to Will Clay, stuff like that. I think we've done a good job here as far as acquiring pieces to fix the ills for next year. Now, at the end of the day, it's what they do on the field and how the coaches can coach them up. All right. So that's what I got here. I'm pretty excited about it. It was pretty fun being involved with it, doing this show. I started doing this show last summer, so the draft meant a little bit more attention to me. Wanting to speak to you guys. So tell me what you think. Again, like I said, hit subscribe, hit like, Hit dislike, hit whatever you want. Let me know you're out there. Let me know what you think. And appreciate everybody who is out there checking me out and showing some love. You guys have a wonderful day. We'll continue on through the week. You guys have a good day. This is Mark Howard. You know what we do. We talk Cowboys here. Peace.